because you're blue light toxic. Blue light makes you fat, okay? Really fat, and it starts right here. The reason why this is not equal is because light, the evolution of light, does not equal the evolution of our retinal anatomy. I started to put this together pretty quick. Then I started to look at sunrise and sunset. When the sun rises, you have visible and infrared light. You don't have any UV initially. But guess what else happens at this time? You don't need your rods and you don't need melanopsin in the morning. So guess when they regenerate? They regenerate in the AM. Guess what else happens? You actually make melatonin in your eye in the morning. The hormone of darkness is first made in the human body in the eye. In the morning, when you have a combination of UVA and infrared A light. And the reason for you is what I told you before about the aromatic amino acid that absorbs that. And you see that UVA light doesn't show up here. So for the guy last night, who I don't know who you are, but asked the question, how am I going to do this as an executive and fix my life? This is the key. You need to reconstruct your AM to fix your real problem. And that was what I had to do to my surgery schedule. That's why I stopped operating at 7 a.m. Started all my cases at 8:30. It's also the reason why I moved to the 28th latitude from where I lived. Why? Because UVA light shows up. Now, you guys here that live in Vermont got some bad news for you. If you've got a mitochondrial disease, which most diseases are, you need that UVA light, and it shows up later here than it does in New Orleans. So guess what that means? You need more control of your life in the morning than any other time. That's the practical advice, okay? These are not Jack Kruse's rules. These are the sun's rules, okay? Sunset, this is when you don't need color vision. This is the camera. They regenerate at nighttime. There's another opsin that you may not know about. It's called neuropsin. It's on the cornea of the eye and it's on your skin. It's a UVA light detector. Melatonin is considered the hormone of darkness. Remember those photon traps I told you about? Well, guess what? That neuropsin tells the brain that UVA light is present and it can begin to make melatonin from sunlight. Now, what are all the effects? Here's the quantum paradox. It's a nighttime hormone because that's what the functional medicine doctors in my profession have told you. And that's true because that's when it's active, but it only activates when light is not present, but it's remade first in the eye and then generalizes all along the brain. The other key thing, and I'll just point this out to you right here, this one should open everybody's eyes. It reduces energy production in mitochondria. UVA light turns down energy production. And why is that important? There's the fourth cytochrome is cytochrome C oxidase in everybody's mitochondria in here. Anybody want to guess what kind of light turns it on? Red light. UV light turns it off. And the reason why, what does UV light make in the skin or the eye? Nitric oxide. And guess what? That's why UV light lowers your blood pressure, because it causes 40 to 60% of dermal pooling and it helps your heart. But what people don't realize the effect is, it turns off your ability to make ATP from food electrons. You have this direct loop that goes to the pineal gland, but the energy comes in here. This energy has to be balanced, blue and red. What does this first do? It turns your pituitary gland on. That's the reason why the question that was asked to Ruben before is extremely important. Blue light balanced by red is what turns on hormone production. If you look at a circadian mechanism, all the hormones are made usually from 6 to 10 in almost any medical textbook. They're assuming that you live around the 30th latitude. That's not true. It's different at different places, but it's a key. Anybody want a shocker? What turns off hormone production? UVA light on the skin, first time it shows up. UV light is what turns off in your blood plasma. This is the key, folks. Blue light that's man-made is absolutely destroying us, and it affects the way your mitochondria can handle electrons from food. That's where the food story comes in, because the more those respiratory proteins get stretched out, it doesn't matter what you eat. You're gonna have a problem. You have to shrink those respiratory proteins closer together so they can do what they do. The laws of nature are not subject to man's beliefs. They're not subject to man's experiments. It's a pretty powerful statement. And you may think it's, I should say, obnoxious. I don't think it is, based on what I showed you. Why? Because now there's researchers out there showing you that it really does begin in the eye and in the skin. That's how leptin and all this is linked. And the cool thing about this, my prescription doesn't cost you a goddamn thing. And what did Einstein say? In the end, the answer will always be pretty simple. So what's my takeaway? Make like the Sphinx. Ground to the ground, take as much clothes off you can.